I know I've not been on here for a few weeks, but I'm really called today to talk about the Clairs. So most people know this as clairvoyance, the Clair senses, some people call them Clair. So when I was studying at psychic college that I went to in London, there was a big sort of section on the Clairs and what they mean, because there's different ways that people tune in and sense things. It's not the same for everybody. That's why you should never sort of try and squeeze yourself into a box and, listen to what other people are saying. You've got to go with how it works for you, how the information comes through to you, how you connect with, you might like to call it spirit, the ether, different dimensions, um, different entities, things that are going on in different realities. There's so many ways of looking at it. So let's start by identifying the most common ones. So clairvoyance is probably one that you've heard of the most. Like, you imagine the little psychic lady sat with a crystal ball. She's a clairvoyant. So how it works is clairvoyancy is essentially seeing clearly. It's clear seeing. So some people would describe this as they're seeing through their third eye. It's almost like being in a dream. So when you have a dream and you're in the dream state and you know you're asleep, but in your dream you're seeing all these visions. You're seeing a reality play out like it would in real life, but you are asleep. So this is essentially the same thing as clairvoyance. So in a session, if you're tuning in to access a clairvoyancy, or it might just come to you naturally on a daily basis, it does for me. So it's seeing things clearly, it's seeing visions, seeing things play out. Some people have that ability where they can foresee events, things that are going to happen. So women, it's more common for them to see pictures and images. Men tend to hear things, but I have both. So it's different for everyone. Some people that work in this field will have one really strong sense, and some of you'll be able to use all of them, and one will come through more commonly than the other. But the clairvoyance is, I'd say, the most common, and it's about learning to really trust it as well. If you see a flash in your mind of an image or of something, don't just ignore it. And this is what most people do. They'll brush it off as coincidence, or, oh, why did I just think of that? There's a reason. So tune into it. Take a moment, pause, tune into the vision that you've just seen. Allow your mind to expand and to think more openly, and explore what this could mean. Why have I just seen a picture of a hat in my mind? Take a moment. What were you thinking about? Where are you at this time that you've just had this vision? What's happening in your life? How do you feel in your body? Are you nervous, hot, cold? Has someone just passed away? Like, there's so many things, and it's about being fluid. It's about not being linear. It's about being open to explore all these different things. And when you do that, you will really be able to sort of pinpoint, oh, I thought of that. I know why I thought of that hat, because I've just seen my neighbour and she rides horses. It could be that random, but it's all about diving a bit deeper, probing into things, and joining the dots together. Because a lot of times, if you're seeing visions, it's trying to guide you. It could be trying to take you on a path for your highest good. That could be with a work, with a certain job, moving locations, coming into contact with a certain individual, meeting certain people, joining different groups. You might have asked for something in your life that's really important to you, more money or more time with family, and it's trying to give it to you, but you've got to listen to the signs. It's like driving a car. You might follow the signs, you'll just follow your sat nav. You've got to follow these little signs. That's how you end up getting to these places. Right, so let's go on to now the second one, which is claircognizance. Now, what that means is clear knowing. Have you ever had it where you know something and you just know it and there's no questioning it? That is that. I know that I have to do this. I don't know how I know it, but I just do. and I have to do it. I'm sure you've all had an experience like that. So that would be claircognizance. It could be something very strongly telling you not to do something. I know today I have not to drive my car to work, and then later on you find out that there was an accident on the motorway, or this is that kind of inner knowing. It can be the same with people. I know that I don't like this person, and there's no shame in that. We shouldn't feel guilty about not liking somebody, because we should be listening to our intuition. Society often teaches us, oh, you're a bad person if you think negative. No, you're not. Your initial sense, that first feeling you get from somebody, you should not ignore that. Now, granted, it could be that person's just had an argument with someone, or they're having a bad day, and you've picked up that energy. You've tuned in to what's in their field. That's slightly different. But if you generally overall don't have a good feeling about somebody, I'd say like 9 times out of 10, I would go as far as saying, for me, 10 times out of 10, I am right. I'm always right with that initial gut feeling. And you might have had it before where you thought, oh, I knew I didn't like that person. Why did I give them a second chance? Or why did I trust them? Or I knew I shouldn't have done this. And that's about learning to trust your intuition. And the more you do it, don't feel guilty about it, the stronger it gets. It's working a muscle. So that's your claircognizance, your clear knowing. So the third one is your clairaudience. Now, when this happens, this can be really scary. When this first happened to me, I was really frightened. And that's why I ended up going to an actual college for psychics, because I wanted clear guidance. I wanted to understand what was going on. I wanted to make sure that I was taking the correct steps for myself and my clients if I was connecting to other things, from a safety point of view and an energetic safety. And yes, there is such a thing as this, because there's very negative entities and different things in the ether. So it's important that you're able to, you understand how to keep yourself safe. So the clairaudience is the hearing. So if you suddenly hear a voice, or something, spirit you've connected to, and it's talking to you, this can be really frightening. And because you're not used to it, we've been switched off. When we came in, we were wiped. We forgot everything we knew, and we were switched off. So we've forgotten how to use our superpowers. Okay, this is so normal. So when things start coming online, it can be really scary. Often people think they're having a nervous breakdown, or they are going mad. I'm laughing because I thought I was, and I am not. I was just opening up. I was awakening. I was being able to attach, feel, hear, sense, see again, okay? Because we're shut down when we come in, we're wiped. And some people don't come back online because they're not supposed to. And some of us will come back online. So if you're one of those people, you probably are because you're watching this, just know that if you start to hear a voice when you're connecting to different things, or spirit starts to talk to you, it can be a little bit scary. But if you don't like it at any point, you just shut it off and you tell it to leave. And I'll do some more videos on this if you would like. Comment below if you would like that. It is such a big topic, I can't cover it all now. So let's go on to the next one. So that's about hearing. So just remember, that could be sounds, it could be names, it could be words. You might be walking down the street and all of a sudden a certain word pops in your head and you're like, oh, and it might be reminding you there's something you need to do. Or it could be a loved one passing you on a message. For example, I'll give you this. My grandma, one day I was walking down a street and I saw these beautiful flowers, and I looked at them and I thought, oh God, what is the name of these flowers? And my grandmother that had passed, all of a sudden, clear as day, loud, in my head, she went, in her accent, her Yorkshire accent, she went, hydrangeas. I was like, oh, thanks, Grandma. And I thought, oh, Grandma, bless her, she's looking out for me. And honestly, and it's actually lovely, because when you're connected to this world, it's really reassuring. You're always being sort of helped along the way. And it's just really nice. So let's move on to the next one. We've got Clairsentience. So again, this is clear feeling. So if you're feeling into a living person or a spirit or an animal, this is your clairsentience. It's a little bit similar to the other ones, but it's more like if you were sort of working psychically and someone's loved one had passed away, or you were feeling into the energy of a pet, um, sensing in, that would be your clairsentience. It can be plants as well. It could even be an object. Um, the Now Clair Alliance or Clair Alliance is smelling. So you may have had it where all of a sudden you'll smell something. It could be cigarettes. That I'm using this because it's common. It could be a past relative that used to smoke. All of a sudden you get a whiff or a waft of cigarettes, and you're like, oh my god, what is that? And it could be, you know, your grandfather used to smoke, or it could be sudden smell of perfume. It could be a smell that your grandmother used to wear. So this would be your clear smelling. Again, it could be baking, it could be anything, and then you'll be able to assign the meaning you know to that smell. It happens a lot with past loved ones. I often get the smell of fragrances that people would wear. And then shortly after, I'll see their name on a car number plate, or a song will come on that I relate to them. So there's lots of things like that. Now let's go to clear tasting. So this is your Clairgustance. So that is tasting something when it is not there. So again, this can be linked to a memory. It could be taking you back to a moment where you ate particular food that's very prominent, and they know that you will associate this with a particular thing. So it can be all these things are like signs to wake you up, alert you, or make you aware of something, an entity, past loved one, relative. So take it as it applies to you. I'm trying to think of an example. I'm not really like, I wouldn't say I'm heavily into the tasting, to be honest. It's not something that's really prolific for me, but some people are. So let's go on to the next one. So we've got Clair empathy. So this is really clear emotion. Now, a lot of empathic people will relate to this, or people like to call them empaths. I mean, we're all to some point empathic, especially if you're watching this video. So it's sensing into other people's emotions, awareness, perception, and energy. So, you're going to really feel this and understand if you walk into a room and you can feel a little bit on edge because you're sensing into everyone else's energy. There could be a man over here who's just had an argument with his partner. You're picking up on that. He's got really negative energy and it's heavy. There could be a lady here. Her mum's just passed away. She's very sad and emotional. You might pick up onto that. There could be another person who's very jealous. You might sense into that. Makes you feel off. Don't like it. There could be someone in there that's really, really happy, and you gravitate to them because you really like their energy. It's very light and playful. So I think you understand that. This is quite easy to understand. But again, and this is for another video, if you are not grounded fully in your own body and you are picking up on everyone else's emotions, this can leave you feel like, it can make you feel a bit like a nervous wreck. So it's very important that you understand and you learn how to be very present in your own vessel. Some people will say grounding. It's not, it's more than that. It's knowing that you are present in your body and nothing else can disturb you. You can be aware that that person over there is angry. You can be aware that this person's jealous. You need to watch out for them. You can be aware of someone that doesn't have your best interests at heart, but you need to fully occupy, that's what I'm looking for, your vessel. And that's how you anchor in, and nothing can sway you. No negative comments, no people that don't have a clue what you're talking about because they're totally living in the matrix, let's say. For example, I'm making this video. There'll be people that have no idea what I'm talking about. I've already seen some of the silly comments, but I'm not reacting to them because it doesn't bother me. This video is not for them. And for all of you that are here and loving it, I'm really pleased. So this is a good example, you see. Anchored into you, knowing what you're worth and your value and what you're here for, and knowing that all these other people that might be having a less positive experience, that's okay. And it's okay that you're feeling it. So the next one is the Clairangency. So this is clear touch. This is mind blowing, right? So I've done this before for one of my friends, and for me, it's so powerful. I don't do it that often because it takes a lot out of you when you're going in and out of doing this kind of work, because you are crossing over like boundaries, if you like, and you're using a lot of energy to access different densities and receive information. So it's very tiring. So if you start working as a psychic or you get into this work, you will feel shattered at the beginning. Anyway, so this is where you would hold an object and you receive information by touching or holding the object. Now, I remember a long time ago seeing a psychic affair saying, I'll bring a piece of a person's jewelry and I'll hold it. And I remember thinking, that's rubbish. That's rubbish. Until I obviously, my senses were like, bing, switched on, and I could do it. I was like, whoa. And it's that powerful that I can put it in my hand. And for me, I'll see pictures of the person accurately. And I've done it before with my friend, her auntie's necklace. And I could tell her where the necklace was, her friends, all these things. So it holds the energy of the person that it belonged to. So if they wore it all the time, it's their energy within that material. Remember, it's about density, objects, the mass of an object, and everything is energy. Even though we perceive things as being solid, they are not. In a quantum physics sort of terminology, matter, it only comes into form because we bring it into form. I know this is a bit technical, but that's how that works. So I was just going to say something else that's really important there. I've forgotten it. To do with density. Right. So when people say I'm a psychic, that means they're reading thought forms. So that's how a psychic can read you. So your aura, as it's really commonly known as, your energy field, but I don't like to use that terminology. I like to use the terminology is like your biofield. So your biofield, your soul is crammed into this body, which is very small and very limited. Your biofield is so big, it bursts out of it. You're an energy being. You are a light being. That's what the aura is. That's what people see when they see your aura. So within that, say if you've had, like I've said before, you've had an argument with someone during the day, you had a cup of coffee at Starbucks, you ate a tuna sandwich. These things are stored in your energy field. So if you went to a psychic, they might say, oh, you've had a tuna sandwich today. Oh, and you like vanilla lattes, and you might go, what? How do you know that? That's because they're reading your thought forms that are stored in your auric field, in your energy field. Now, a medium, that's different. A medium is somebody that can communicate with spirit. So they're the people that, can talk to your past loved ones. And you wonder how, how they knew that your grandma liked particular food, or what she used to wear, or what she used to say to you, and they can project that and give you that information. That's how they work. So not everyone is a psychic medium. Some people would just be psychic. So that's a little bit more information. This video is so long. We're now on 20 minutes. But yeah, I love talking about this because it actually helps me when I talk through it, because I do this every day and it becomes natural to me now. And I just want you to know that I genuinely believe, I want to say we are all capable, but not necessarily all, but a lot of people, if they want to be, they can switch it on to a certain level. And some people, because of the different codes that are coming through now and the ascension process on Earth, they're becoming more awakened. They're waking up. They're coming online. That's why there's so many more people looking into what I'm talking about. People are becoming aware because they're not living under the thumb anymore. They're not accepting everything they are told. They're not conforming, because we know that the people that look after us are not looking after us. the government, whatever, you know, they claim they are. No, they're not. People are fed up. People can't afford to live. You know, the inflation's gone up. Inflation's totally man-made. It's all bollocks. So, you know, people are looking outside of the box because we are powerful. We are so powerful. And that's why we're kept in line. And they know this. But again, I'm skirting on touchy subjects here. So I'm not going to go any deeper today on that. But I just want to thank you all for tuning in. And if you've got questions, please leave them below. Leave them in the comment section. And I will see you all soon. Thank you.